I've always talked to you when I have thoughts about the stock market or stuff of that nature. What would be your advice to people that are looking to invest in different stocks right now while this the issue of the default is currently at play?
So yeah, my advice is obviously, don't invest what you're not willing to lose. That being said, a lot of people are just like, oh, you could lose everything. And
No
I
shit.
suppose you can if you put everything in. But also, like, if you see a stock plummeting and you've got 10 grand in there, it might plummet to 8 grand. At that point, you can sell it and, obviously you lost 2 grand, but you didn't lose everything. But if you, like, ride it out and it goes way down. But, your stock is never going to be worth, like, $0,
Now, for some people who might be ignorant about the whole process and whatnot, what is some advice you'd give so that the process is not as daunting at, like, say, for me, for example, when I first thought about it, I had anxiety because I thought, like, this was shit you'd have to pay attention to religiously based off the business news and whatnot. But
It depends on what you're trying to get out of the stock market, too. Like, if you're day trading or if you're, trying to be a paper hand, is the term a lot of people use, just make some quick money. That's the type of thing where, you kind of want to be steady upkeeping on news, this and that. And that's, not super difficult nowadays. I don't know, I'm not familiar with all of the apps, but I know Robinhood, which is what I use. I'm probably going to get out of Robinhood. We can talk about that afterwards. But they have a pretty nice section where you click on any stock and you scroll down and you can just click on news.
I mean, any app that you use to transfer money to another person's account has a stock feature nowadays, like Cash App, Venmo. Yep.
So a lot of the apps have news. Some of them are more detailed than others, and even Robinhood, a lot of them, you'll click on it and it'll be like, oh, pay a monthly fee to subscribe to this newsletter, which I don't really subscribe to any of that. But it's, at the very least, it's a good starting point. You kind of get some information and kind of what you should be looking up.
It sounds like one of the biggest things people need to do, especially when diving into it, is definitely managing expectations.
Yeah, managing expectations, you're not necessarily going to get rich overnight on the stock market.
Oh, hell no.
You can. I don't personally know a lot of people that have, but I know some people that have made pretty decent fucking money, for sure.
It's not impossible, but it also depends on the layout of the specific business you're investing in, A, and B, like, what is the current state of the markets that be at general.
Yeah, and my investing strategy is kind of what a lot of people tell you not to do. But I also don't typically, like, have a fuck ton of money on the line in the stock market either. But I normally, like, throw all my money in one thing that I think is going to go up based on research or based on trends or what have you. And I'll let it sit in for a couple days or a couple weeks, maybe even just a day. And then I'll sell it, pocket some money, and then do it again. And I've diversified a little bit from time to time, and then some shit will happen. I'll kind of compress everything into one stock and then go from there. But yeah, there's been days where I've made 2-3 grand in a day, a couple clicks of buttons, and then there's been other days where I'm out of day trades and I'm just forced to kind of watch myself lose $1,000, $2,000. And there's not much I can do about it until the following day. So there's pros and cons. This year I think I put in 2 grand this year. I've pulled out 12.5 and I've got a couple grand in there right now.
Word.
So I'm not doing terrible, but I'm not doing great either,
I'm sure you're doing better than most people right now.
I mean, yeah, no, that's pretty solid off of just putting 2 grand in there.
So you said you used Robinhood. What are some of the pros and cons of using an app like that versus, like, I wouldn't even know what would be a tried and true method about day trading and all that.
So there's a few things. Robinhood, super simple, easy to access. It's super user friendly. It lets you invite friends. You get free stocks. You get chances to win X amount of money all the time. This and that. It's got pretty much everything that's on the New York Stock Exchange is in Robinhood, and it's got 7 different cryptocurrencies. It's got Dogecoin, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Silver, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. So it doesn't have the most cryptocurrencies, but it has a fair amount. Those are generally kind of the main cryptocurrencies. So Cardano is getting pretty big as well. The thing with Robinhood is that there's some hidden fees when you're buying and selling shit. It's supposed, like, they advertise it as no fees, but I'm pretty sure there's, like, some very minor hidden fees. And then Robinhood, too, like, I'm sure you've heard of the whole, like, GameStop fiasco.
Oh, yes.
So they'll literally, like, pause and temporarily stop trading on particular stocks that are, like, usually meme stocks. So, like, there's the whole Reddit, Wall Street bets and all that.
Right.
Where everybody's like, we're gonna just buy a bunch of this shit and like drive up the price and then sell it, make a bunch of money. So they'll stop that, but that's because, that's like, I look at that as market manipulation, and I don't think that is right. But at the same point in time, Robinhood has had to do that to prevent from going bankrupt, because they have to have a certain amount of like money that they put up. I don't want to explain this wrong. I don't know the proper terminology, but it's basically they have to put up a certain amount of money on the line as like a risk mitigation to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And with this shit going crazy with GameStop and other stocks, Robinhood has to put up more and more and more money because they have more and more chance of like a big risk, right? Mm-hmm. So that being said, they temporarily stopped trading on that because they were pretty much Robinhood was going to go fucking bankrupt.